Hey, what's up YouTube, and welcome back to another facts video, and this time we're gonna be looking into Persona 5 Royale. And there's a lot of cool stuff in this game that most players probably just didn't give a second thought about, such as cool facts, world building details, and some secrets hidden within the game, and much more. So thanks again for joining me today, and if you guys like these types of videos, make sure to subscribe for more, content such as this. But with that out of the way, let's get into it. So here's about 8 facts about Persona 5 Royale that you might have missed in your first playthrough, or you probably just didn't really know about. Anyways, let's get into it. Number 1. At the very start of the game's intro, when Joker arrives in Tokyo, he is trying to look for Sojiro Sakura's home address, and thanks to the NPCs around Yongen, they help point Joker out towards the right direction. Once we find the home address, you come across this delivery man, and I don't know about you guys, but he does seem to be wearing a similar outfit to that of what Taro Namatame is wearing in Persona 4. I mean, it's not too uncommon for those within the delivery business to have similar outfits, but the fact that they chose to use the same color design as Taro Namatame's outfit clearly is a callback to Persona 4. Even though it's not really stated in game, I still think it's a pretty cool detail. But what do you guys think? Number 2. I'm pretty sure a couple of you guys already noticed this one, but when traveling around the alleyways of Yongen, you can immediately tell there's an abundance of cats all around the area, something that was added into Persona 5 Royale. Meanwhile, back in the original Persona 5 game, you hardly see any of these cats at all, well, besides just Morgana. But yeah, you can see a lot of them running around throughout the alleyways of Yongen, hanging around the Blanc's corner, and even on top of some sheds and other higher places. Number 3. Once you make it into LeBlanc, we're introduced to Sojiro Sakura, and he tells you that you'll be spending the rest of your probation period with him at his home. And when asked as to why he took you in, he'll mention vaguely that he did this as a favor for a friend of his, which till this day, we're still left wondering as to who the hell that is.
So, you're the guy. I'm Sojiro Sakura. You'll be in my custody over the next year. I was wondering what kind of unruly kid would show up. But you're the one, huh? Have you been told? A customer of mine and your parents know each other, and, well, not that that matters. Follow me. Now then. I got the gist of your situation. You protected some woman from a man forcing himself on her. He got injured, then sued you, right? That's what you get for sticking your nose in a matter between 2 adults. You did injure him, yeah? And now that you've got a criminal record, you were expelled from your high school. The courts ordered you to transfer and move out here, which your parents also approved. In other words, they got rid of you for being a pain in the ass.
Joker's parents agreed to the probation transfer because they just didn't want to deal with it themselves. And something you should really know is that Japanese parenting is highly competitive in Japan, and there's a lot of pressure to make sure kids are sent to, the right schools. So yeah, with Joker now being in trouble with the police, Joker just might have been kicked out of one of these schools that his parents probably worked really hard to get him into, only for him to be arrested and expelled. Now, I'm not saying this is 100% of what happened, but it sure comes off that way according to Sojiro. Number 4. Okay, so this next one's kinda weird, but on the first night in LeBlanc's, Joker starts remembering the events that played out that got him arrested. So we're kinda left roaming around Joker's old neighborhood here in this flashback. And what I wanted to point out here is that if you look at Joker's t-shirt during this flashback, it says since 1797, New South Wales. At first it might not seem like much, but the name New South Wales is actually a state on the east coast of Australia. Now, I'm not too sure what connection Joker might have to Australia, but hey, shout out to them, I guess. Number 5. In Yongen, there's a small bar next to the secondhand shop. It's one of those stores that you just don't have access to, but you can go right up to it and examine it. But if you look closely at the bar's entrance, you'll notice a lot of decorations and banners on the front door. And if you look very closely, you can see this yellow one right here, which is actually the Yasogami High School symbol from Persona 4. As to why that's there, I don't know, but it's a fun little Easter egg that they added there. Number 6. Another interesting little detail that was added into Persona 5 Royale's version of the game is when Sojiro takes you to the academy and registers you as a student in Shujin, and we're introduced to Miss Kawakami for the first time, our homeroom teacher. So Miss Kawakami already has your student ID ready, but she also accidentally pulls out something else out of her pocket, which looks to be a flyer for a maid cleaning service, giving you guys a little heads up on her secondary job as a night maid. And yeah, this little scene was one of many new things that Persona 5 Royale's version added as extras. Number 7. During the car ride back with Sojiro, he will strike a conversation with you talking about all the crazy things that have been happening around Tokyo. And Sojiro mentions that a 15-year-old girl passed away not too long ago, before Joker even arrived.
And now, back to today's top stories. A subway train has derailed, severely affecting the timetable across all of...
Oh, another accident. So that's why it's so crowded. There's been a lot of those lately. In fact, there was a real sad one just last month. It happened before you came here. If I remember right, the girl that passed away was only 15.
Now, this scene is pretty much similar to the way it played out in the original Persona 5, but those 2 extra lines of dialogue right there were not mentioned in the original game about the 15-year-old girl. And yeah, this was later added in the Royale version for the story development of a new character added into the game. And yeah, the girl Sojiro was talking about was Kasumi Yoshizawa. Number 8. If you look around Yongen, you will see these posters with a black dog silhouette on them. But did you know that these are actual advertisements for a private detective agency specializing in investigating martial infidelity in Tokyo? Because in Japan, married couples have a legal obligation to remain faithful to each other. Therefore, if one spouse is unfaithful with another, both the unfaithful spouse and the cheating third party may have an obligation to pay damages to the non-cheating spouse. So they put up these signposts as crises of confidence to anyone who might be affected in these relationships. And yeah, these posters can be found alongside vending machines, in front of garages, bus shelters, and above bins. Usually they're just put up in parts of the city where red light districts tend to be or near them. And guys, that's pretty much gonna do it for this video, so I hope you guys enjoyed it and perhaps learned something new about Persona 5 Royale. So my goals for these videos is to show you guys some cool stuff that maybe perhaps you didn't really know about or maybe you missed out on in your first playthrough. And if I showed you something that you thought was pretty cool, make sure to drop me a like. Also, I will be making similar content such as this for a variety of Persona games and Mega 10 games as well. So if that sounds like something you might want to get into, then make sure to subscribe. But with that out of the way, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care.